beloveds, and peace be with you. I'm Reverend Mitzi, and welcome to Unity of Tempe. Whether you are here in person or joining online, we're so very glad that you are here. And if you're online, we do hope that you come and see us in person very, very soon. So this week, I really struggled with what to talk about. Most weeks, the theme and the idea, it just falls into place really easily for me. But this past week, I simply felt out of ideas. I prayed, I researched, I looked through books, zilch, nada, nothing. And what was really unusual about this was that I felt the block coming on. I actually felt it. As soon as I got home last Sunday, after last Sunday's service, it was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to speak about next week? And I don't know why that happened, but it just did. And at first, it was just a whisper. But by Tuesday, it was screaming in my ear. And I haven't felt that blocked for such a long time. And so I did what any good minister would do. I posted about it on my social. And while I didn't ask for suggestions, lots of well-meaning friends responded with ideas. Interestingly, though, most of the topics that they suggested are ones that I've already spoken about, either in a series or on a one-off message. So that actually was very affirming for me. I felt like, okay, we're kind of on the right track here at Unity of Tempe, right? But many of the comments mentioned how unsettled and scary the world seems right now, and how to stay connected to God and peace and good and love when there's so much hatred and war. So by late Friday, my spirit felt settled on the topic of peace, which is one of my very favorite topics, as you know. Peace and love are definitely some of my favorite topics. Now did we find the picture? No, we didn't find it. Okay, well, I'll have to show it next week then, because it's really cool. Anyways, there is a famous writing which you may be familiar with, and it is attributed to Lao Tzu, and it can be read by a peace prayer. I know some of you know this. You're already nodding your head. You know it. If there is to be peace in the world, there must be peace in the nations. If there is to be peace in the nations, there must be peace in the cities. If there is to be peace in the cities, there must be peace between neighbors. If there is to be peace between neighbors, there must be peace in the home. If there is to be peace in the home, there must be peace in the heart. Now that almost sounds like it could have been written by Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, right? Or by any number of New Thought or Unity writers, correct? Am I wrong in thinking that? No, it does, right? And it aligns perfectly, especially with our peace song that we pray at the end of every week. But no, it was written by Chinese Taoist philosopher Lao Tzu, who is it's attributed to him. It's attributed to him, let's say. So, and Lao Tzu is credited with the founding of Taoism, and he's best known as the author of the Tao Te Ching, which is known in English as the Way of Virtue, a foundational text of Taoism that expresses the concept of the Tao, the creative and binding force that runs through it, the universe, and how to align oneself with it. Now, according to traditional accounts, Lao Tzu was born in the 6th century BCE, and he served as a royal archivist. He actually impressed Confucius at one point, and it is said that he composed the Tao Te Ching in a single session before retiring into the wilderness. But modern scholars, however, they suggest that he actually may be a fictitious character or an amalgam of different philosophers, and that the Tao Te Ching was not composed until the 4th century BC by multiple authors. That kind of sounds like familiar to other things, right? We don't really know, but nevertheless, it is a beautiful writing. So let's get back to the topic of peace. Well, we pray for peace. right? We affirm peace. We accept peace. And yet, what do we do when the world seems so bleak? MGM, thank you for inspiring us to keep the faith and keep the spirit through the beautiful daily reading that we had today. Yet when we look out in the world, what do we see? We see wars, bombings, killings, displacements, hunger, poverty, and disease, not to mention natural disasters. And we can't bear to look at it all. It is just simply too horrific. And so our eyes turn away often from the suffering and the destruction because, I don't know about you, but it's just simply too much to take in right now. The inhumanity. And we want to help, but it feels overwhelming. Yet even in the midst of all these mass crises that are going on, in the world, Spirit beckons to us, on bended knees really, to seek ways to light candles of hope, however small, through our thoughts, words, deeds, and prayers. To light one candle rather than curse the darkness. And we do this by being people of peace, led by love. People of peace, led by love. Doesn't that sound nice? Doesn't that sound really like something we can embrace? Let us affirm that together. Say I am a person of peace led by love. Again, I am a person of peace led by love. And collectively, we are people of peace led by love. We are people of peace led by love. Well, that's really beautiful and it feels really, really good. But what does it actually mean to be a person of peace led by love? Well, people of peace are in it for the long haul. They don't give up when the going gets tough or the world seems dark and turbulent. That's actually when they amp up their light. The light that they shine, for they know that it is even more needed in that moment. People of peace are willing to do the hard work that it takes to bring an end to the injustice that causes war, conflict, violence. People of peace listen, particularly to those with whom they have differing ideas, in order to gain a broader perspective. People of peace do not condone violence, belittle or insult others, or wish them harm in any way. People of peace know that peace begins. Let's say that again. People of peace know that peace begins within. They stay connected to their spiritual source and their community. People of peace see all beings as sentient and interconnected, and that what affects one affects us all. People of peace, this is huge right here, are not deceived into the easy solution of vilifying all whom others have labeled as enemies, and are willing actually to even release the label enemy. Now that is probably the hardest thing, honestly, about being a person of peace, being willing to release that label of enemy. Because why? Because as a society, we've been conditioned to believe that it's them against us, right? They're out to get us. We must seek revenge, an eye for an eye. But as Gandhi said, an eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind. And in unity, our spiritual concept of oneness and the label of an enemy are not cohorts. They're not cohorts at all. They're actually antonyms. So being willing to release the word enemy means to start embodying the concept of love in an even deeper way. Disagreements and conflicts between people or nations cannot be resolved through force. Why is that? Because force doesn't address the reasons underlying the conflict. Instead, what does it do? It fuels it. And it invariably gives rise to even greater animosity. Without awareness of oneness of all people, even minor grievances can become major confrontations. One problem leads to another, and all the difficulties become so interwoven that resolution seems impossible. But back to that idea of loving your enemies. It's not a new idea, is it? No. It's actually a very old idea, and it's a principle that's extolled by the founders of all the major religions, and scriptures are filled with instructions and invitations to love. So I'm going to go through some of them right here. From Islam, repay evil with good, and your enemy will become your friend. From Judaism, if your enemy be hungry, give him bread to eat, and if he be thirsty, give him water to drink. From Jesus, love your neighbor as, let's say that again, love your neighbor as yourself. Love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, pray for those who persecute you. From the Buddha, I love this one. Cherish all living beings, radiating kindness over the entire world, spreading upwards to the skies and downwards to the depths, outwards and unbounded, freed from hatred and ill will. From Baha'i, the fundamental purpose animating the faith of God is to safeguard the interests and promote the unity of the human race and to foster the spirit of love and fellowship amongst all people. From Unity, if we would draw to us love, we must be love, be loving and kind. If we would have peace and harmony in our environment, we must establish it within ourselves. And that is from co-founder of Unity, Charles Fillmore, who created Unity with his wife, Myrtle Fillmore. From Christian Science, the first duty is to obey God, have one mind, and to love one another as yourself. So scriptures and prophets and holy ones and sacred thinkers can call upon us to do the difficult work of truly loving one another. God's calling us now, right now. Love one another. Get it? Love one another. We just got the message. It's a punctuation mark, it's an exclamation mark. And it is difficult to love one another at times. But how can hatred be turned to love, particularly centuries-long hatred? Centuries-long hatred. Well, it's only by oneness, by appreciating the underlying unity of all people, and that we are all inseparably linked and our destinies are forever entwined. Peace is the result of an awareness and the practice of oneness. It's great to have an awareness of it, but it's also living that idea of oneness. Peace can come only as a result of concern and understanding for others. Peace can come only when people can see that another person's pain and joys, griefs and blessings are as real and as important as their own. Would you agree with that? Yes. Whether that person be family, friend, or someone they've never met, from a different faith tradition, a different race, a different lifestyle choice, recognizing that we all have that pain and it's important to that person just as important as our own pain is to us. Only then will we be able to unite and let one another be without feeling the need to compete, overthrow, protect, control, dominate, or destroy one another. Now, of course, one of the world's most notable and ongoing challenges is that the holy sites of Christianity, Judaism, and Islam are located in the same region of the world. And questions of possession have led to horrific conflicts. But it is time to accept that these spiritual sites are shared by all. They're shared by all. Hebrew scriptures proclaim, seek peace and pursue it. I love that. That actually comes from Psalm 34:14. Seek, say with me, seek peace and pursue it. Seek peace and pursue it. Jesus said, blessed are the peacemakers, and instructed us to have peace with one another. Baha'i teaches, and I love this so much, when a thought of war comes, oppose it by a stronger thought of peace. And we don't mean just war like what's going on. We mean the war within ourselves, because we have wars within ourselves going on at times, right? So when a thought of war comes within ourselves, or a thought of conflict, oppose it with a stronger thought of peace. And Native American Sioux say, there can never be peace between nations until it is first known that true peace is within the souls of man. Which brings us full circle, right? It brings us right back. Hello, little bird. It brings us right back to Lao Tzu. So let us say this together, slowly. If there is to be peace in the world, there must be peace in the nations. If there is to be peace in the nations, there must be peace in the cities. If there is to be peace in the cities, there must be peace between neighbors. If there is to be peace between neighbors, there must be peace in the home. If there is to be peace in the home, there must be peace in the heart. So, beloveds, let us commit to being people of peace who are led by love, so that the world might be brighter and kinder because we are in it. And I invite us once again to say this, and this time put your hand on your heart again. Breathe it in. I am a person of peace led by love. I am a person of peace led by love. One more time. I am a person of peace led by love. Think of what that means, all that we talked about today. And now, let's say it collectively and affirm this for our community. We are people of peace led by love. We are people of peace led by love. We are people of peace led by love. You may think, that's just a small little drop in the ocean, but it's something we can do right now, and it does make a difference. So to anchor this message today, I found a beautiful song by an artist I didn't know. His name is Drew Holcomb, and his group is The Neighbors, and it's actually just him singing, but this is a really wonderful song to anchor a lot of what we've discussed today.
I don't know about you, but I like to tell the truth. But the truth seems to change every Tuesday. When I watch the news, man, it just gives me the blues. No one listens, just on a mission to hear their own voice. It's a wild world, we're all trying to find our place in it. It's a wild world and no one seems to understand it. It's a wild world, but there ain't no way I'm gonna quit it. Love is all we've got to give away. Some folks ain't got $1 to their name, others got their own jet planes. We all got the same blood running through our veins. Whether or not you pray, black or white, straight or gay, you still deserve the love of your neighbor. It's a wild world, we're all trying to find our place in it. It's a wild world and no one seems to understand it. It's a wild world, but there ain't no way I'm gonna quit it. Love is all we've got to give away. Try a little tenderness, maybe some benefit of the doubt. Another person's point of view, try to listen, not to shout. Hold your opinions loosely, maybe you're not always right. Show a little mercy and hold on to love real tight. It's a wild world, we're trying to find our place in it. It's a wild world and no one seems to understand it. It's a wild world, but there ain't no way I'm gonna quit it. Love is all we've got to give away. Love is all I've got to give away. Love is all we've got to give away.
What a sweet song. Did you like that? So sweet, so kind of just to the point, right? Oh, love it. So let us affirm together. I am a beloved child of God, here to be an ambassador of good. Yes, you are. You are indeed a beloved child of God, and you are here to be an ambassador of good. And so it is time to share our blessings, our financial blessings today. I do need to let you know that we've been kind of like running a little low and been in the red a little bit the last few months. So I encourage you to share your financial blessings because it does make a difference to us being here. So I encourage you to take your blessing, hold it to your heart, bless it, because we know that what we give comes back to us a bazillion-fold. And let us say together, I am a joyful sharer of my good. I remember that as I give, I receive, and that God is my source. And if you prefer to, can we go to the next slide? Oh, next one after that. If you prefer to give online, Zelle, and also Unity of Tempe PayPal we have as well. Thank you, Glenda, for helping with that. And we have a prayer box here, which is at the back of the room. If you have any prayer request, you can put it in there. You can do it anonymously or for whatever you like, and those prayers are prayed over indeed. And so we bless all of these gifts. We bless the giver and the receiver and the stewardship of their use. And so it is. Amen. Thank you. So for those of you who are new, Unity of Tempe partners with Church of the Epiphany. We're so blessed to use this space here, to rent this space from Church of the Epiphany. And we partner with Matthew's Crossing Food Bank to support the community. And they have many items that are needed. These are the most needed items. You can take a picture of that or whatever you choose to bring in. If you are somewhere and want to bring something in, they are greatly, greatly appreciated. I want to remind you that you are so very, very, very loved. So very loved. Say, I am so very loved. Yes. Now turn to someone and tell them that they're very loved. Charlene, you are so very loved. Maria, Victoria, you are so very, very loved. Yes. Who's feeling that they need a little extra love today? Anyone? It's okay to put your hand up. Okay. Look to Maria and Victoria, and let's all tell them together. Maria and Victoria, you are so very, very loved. Anyone else? All right. You are so very loved. So be with us next week for practical spiritual inspiration for creating life you love. Last week, I had no idea what I was talking about. Well, next week, it's the week of Thanksgiving. And so it will be something to do with gratitude, but maybe not a traditional, here we go again, I have to be grateful. It might be something on what do we do if we don't feel grateful about everything kind of talk. How do you like that idea? You're liking it? Okay. Yes. Love it.
Toilet paper, whatever. Socks are always important. So let's bring and fill this place up next week.
Lovely. I love that idea. And you can go to the dollar store, buy some cans of food, whatever is in your, within you. It could be one thing. It could be a whole bag of things. I love that idea. I love that idea. So we show our gratitude as a community. Wonderful idea. And we can get that out in our email as well. So who will... What was that? What was that, Ron? Keep coming back. It works if you work it. Oh, another program. Okay, but who will you invite next week? Think of someone that you can bring with you next week. We're so grateful that people brought people this week or showed up, and we really encourage you to come back and be with us again. We are a growing community, and you are loved, and we appreciate you. You'll find a home, a spiritual home here of support and fellowship and community through great times, through challenging times, through all the times as we do life together. So we're a lighthouse, and we go out and we shine our light, and we see this place completely full. Completely full. So full, in fact, that we have to at some point go to 2 services. Let us say our prayer for protection together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. All is well, and we are grateful. Beloveds online, have a wonderful week. Shine your beautiful light, because you are a person of peace, here to bring more kindness, love, gentleness, and light into the world. And so it is.